Hello everyone. So the thing which I'm going to share through this video is going to be really interesting. You might feel shocked also. So I was also shocked by when I hear this first time. So there is a thing that you can get into IITs only if you have a high marks or high CGPA or something, etc. etc. But what if I told you you can get into IITs even with low gate scores? So about that only we are going to see in this video. And I have been lately getting a lot of messages from Instagram and many other sources like I have got this much gate score. Do I get which IIT or which IITs I have to approach? So everything we are going to see in this video. And if you are new to my channel, myself Ashik Dhanush. So I am from IIT Hyderabad. I am master students in the Department of Smart Mobility. So now let's get into the video. So when you talk about higher studies at IITs, there is options like masters and PhDs. So when you talk about masters, there are options called MSc, Mtech, and Mtech RA. So and there is one more thing called self-sponsored. So quickly I will write it down. So Mtech RA, MSc, and one more is self-sponsored, and one is the normal Mtech. So when we talk about the Mtech one, it can be gotten only via the gate score. So that for that you need to have some, if you want a top IITs, a very good IIT, you need to have high gate score obviously. So this option is applicable only when you have a high gate score. It's also called as teaching assistantship. So generally in IITs they call it as TA, and RA stands for research assistantship. The main difference is in with years only. So here they will be doing for 3 years and this is a 2-year program. Whereas here in Mtech RA, 1 year specifically, dedicatedly they will dedicate for their research work. So the guide will be there, the guide will have some research projects from the government or it may be any industry. So the people who are in RA will have an extra 1 year to spend, and placement everything remains same. They will have the same placement like the TAs, but they will be doing in the next year. So this is the basic difference between them. And when you come to MSc, they call it as MS by research also. So that is the correct way, MS by research. MSR they will tell. So basically this and this most probably same. Whereas I have heard in some other IITs that they are asked to do some research paper also, publish a research paper which is mandatory they say. But as far as I know in IIT Hyderabad, I don't think so that's a mandatory option. But I'm not sure, depends on the department and what kind of things you take. So MS by research and mostly Mtech RA is approximately same only. And when you come to self-sponsored, this is a special unique category. And this special self-sponsored category, people get admission in 3 different steps. So the first step will be shortlisting process. The second will be the written exam. The third will be the interview round. So when you consider self-sponsored category, it has other names also like self-finance, and there are various names also. It depends on the IITs. If you check in the website, you will have this kind of option. So mostly everything will happen in these 3 steps. Okay, the first one will be shortlisting, written, and the interview. So basically how they shortlist, what criteria and what basis they shortlist. So coming to that, it solely depends on 2 factors. So one factor will be your gate score and another will be your college CGPA. Okay, so say that you have a CGPA of 8.5 and above. Okay, so you have a really good CGPA of 8.5 and above, and you have a low gate score. Okay, still you can get shortlisted for the first round. Okay, and next, when you have a high gate score, but your CGPA is really low, like you can say around 8.0 or less. When you have this criteria, still you will get shortlisted for the first round. Okay, so this first round will happen in online, and it solely depends on these 2 criteria in most of the IITs. In some of the IITs, they will check for your resume also, or some of the things they have some this also, like what is a unique thing like projects it may be, or what is the individuality. Some IITs they check for that also. So these 2 patterns mainly affect. So you have to find a balance between them. So if you have a really good gate score, really good CGPA, definitely you will get. If you have a really bad gate score and you are really good with CGPA, still you can get shortlisted. Okay, and this will happen in online mode, and then the people who get shortlisted will be called for written exam. This written exam will be done in offline mode in the campus. Since it was during Corona time, I think this written exam was online. I'm not sure about it, but last year during my batch, it happened in written exam was in offline. So when you come out this, so during last year, I don't know how much people applied for the self-sponsored, but the people who got shortlisted was around 90. So among 90 shortlisted for the written exam. So these people come to it at IIT Hyderabad. They will come and write the written exam. So that particular IIT which you applied for will call you for writing the written exam. And from this 90, I'll tell you, they'll have written exam. This written exam they will shortlist around 20 people. Okay, the written exam will happen at the morning shift you can say, and the interviews will happen at the afternoon. So written exam syllabus and the other things they will tell the particular department which you are applying for will inform you via the mail, like these are the syllabus you have to cover for written exam, or I don't know, it depends on IIT. In IIT Hyderabad for a smart mobility department, they have given us the schedule like these are the syllabus you have to study. So we had from programming and we have from basic maths and other things. It was around for 50 marks, so less than 50 marks, I'm not sure about it, and it was there. And from this 20 will go and attend the interview. So in interview there is 3 mandatory things. One will be your resume like your final year project, that will have a big major role. So if your final year project is really good, like many people will buy projects from outside and they deliver, but they will easily identify like whether you have done it or some other person has done it. So your project will play a main important role. Even if you did the interview worst, sometimes in worst cases, if your project is really good and outstanding one, you will still definitely have a chance of getting the interview cleared. And the second one will be max, obviously. So you will have questions from linear algebra or matrix and some other basic limits and functions. From that you will have an interview, and the third will be your self intro. So these things, 3 things will have play a major role in the interview. So once you clear this interview, around 8 people. This count varies from year by year. So before year I think there were 4 self-sponsored I think, and this year I mean in my batch there were 8 students. So this number depends on year by year and changes. I'm not sure in this year how much they will take. To be even more precise about this shortlisting process, I will give you some examples with numbers. So as I was saying with high and low now, so exactly which number is high, which number is low, I will give you a comparison just for an idea. Also it's not 100% sure because it's not available everywhere, like the gate cutoff they publish in online, but this kind of comparison and cutoff they don't publish online. So it's based upon the experience which I got from my friends and others. So based on that data I'm giving you this comparison. So say for example, if you have a CGPA of 8.5 and you have a gate score of say 350 out of 1000, okay, if you met this criteria you can qualify for the first round. Okay, another example, say you have a gate score of 8 something, and if you have a gate score of 400 out of 1000, 400, still you can get qualified, possibilities are there. And say if you have even more high gate score, say 500 out of 1000, and you have a CGPA of around 7.8, still you have a possibility. Okay, so I asked few of my friends regarding this and I came up to this conclusion. So it solely depends on the colleges you apply and where you apply to. You can, so for example, you can try contacting the seniors present in the college, or say if you want to go to IIT, go at your IIT Delhi, go to the LinkedIn and find the seniors and just get an idea about the last year's self-sponsored cutoff and those things. One very advantage you can say is that only for the shortlisting na, your gate score will be validated. So once say that you have almost your shortlisted, you got called for a written exam. So once you get called for written exam, your gate score is not seen. So for example, you can say that when you for these two, these two evaluations solely depends on how you perform on the written exam, how you perform on the interview. So your gate score doesn't matter. How much you perform in these two will decide your admission. Say that a person is having 500 gate score and another person is having a 400 gate score, and the guy who is in 500 gate score did not perform better than you who is having gate score of 400, then the chance of getting selected is you only, the 400 gate score. So it that is the main good thing about self-sponsored is that only for shortlisting you will have the gate score as a main point. After that, you don't really require a gate score for the other two things. But main thing is that you should qualify the gate exam. Only if you qualify the gate exam, you will, as far as I know, in IIT Hyderabad, because in my batch, all the self-sponsored have qualified the gate exam at least. So I think that is the basic requirement to get in self-sponsored. But in certain IITs, I'm not sure about. You can check in their official page. They even if even if you don't qualify gate exam, they still take self-sponsored. But that is rare, I think. But most probably every self-sponsor will have a qualified gate person. Okay. I'll just quickly show you how to find the courses in any IITs. So basically, let's go to browser and let's take any IIT. For instance, I take IIT Hyderabad. Let's go to the web page. In there, you can see the research academic section. In the academic section, you can see the programs. In the programs, there you can see undergraduate, postgraduate, professional. So if you go for postgraduate, they are offering these kind of programs, Mtech, Master in Design, MSc. So well, let's go to Mtech program. So there we have regular online and portal link is given here. So these are the departments and sorry, these are the program name and these are the department which is being offering that. And what are the things applicable? So as I said, there is MOE sponsor, which means it is by gate score, self sponsor is there. So this 3 year thing which I said, now that is called RA. So that is funded by some projects. You can take that also. So they will be mentioned for each and every program which kind of funding is available. So you can look into, so for smart mobility, you can see that there is MOE is there, self sponsor is there, research assistantship is there. So if you see energy science and technology, there is only two. So likewise, you can go to the particular IIT website and you can go to the academic section and you can get the more details clearly there. There is pros and cons in the self-sponsor category. I will point it out now, and it depends upon you to choose which one. Like whether I should really go for self-sponsor or I should wait for another year or I should look for other opportunities. So coming to the self-sponsored pros and cons. So one of the biggest con is the fee. The fees of self-sponsor is really high. So it will cost around 3 lakh per semester, or it will cost around you can say 12 lakh for 2 years. So people generally take loans from banks. When you get self-sponsored in a really good department or in a really good domain, when you passed out, you will go with the good packages. You can easily pay those loans within 5 or 6 months. You can say only that time you have to worry about. After that, your life will be easy. One more con is that no stipend. So generally, people from Mtech TA and Mtech RA will get a stipend of 12,500 something like that, and people in self-sponsor will not be provided any stipend. So you have to manage every expenses in the colleges. So when you calculate Mtech TA, it's almost like free seat only. Like every month, if you calculate 12,000, it almost completes the 50,000 fee requirement. So it almost you're studying in free only. But in self-sponsored, you have to bear every expenses. That is one disadvantage. One pro is that for getting an IIT with low gate score, even you can get chances top IIT. I mean, I said the balance, right? When you have a balance between your CGPA and your gate score, say if you have a gate score of more and you have a CGPA is also very high, then you can get IITs in first generation IITs. And say if you have a low gate score and if you have some higher CGPA, you can get second generation IIT. Even third also you can get. Okay, so it depends on what departments you do. So as there are various departments and various colleges, I cannot really say which IITs will get this much and this kind. So, but I have discussed earlier for IIT Hyderabad how much you need to get. So this depends on the which IITs and which domains, which department you take. Okay, and obviously another will be you will be getting an IIT tag. One suggestion I would like to tell, if you are going with a self-sponsored, many people feel very difficult to tackle the subjects in self when they come from self-sponsored uh, because the standard of teaching will be really high in IIT, right? So sometimes people with low gate score and when they get into the classes, they don't really understand that much. So one big thing you can do is once you get in a chance of admission into IIT by self-sponsored, you can try to learn some concepts in beforehand. So you'll be having 1 month time, or I guess you can learn. There are many YouTube resources available. So you, based on your department, you can contact your seniors there. You can look for the courses which you need to study beforehand. Not, you don't have to study entirely. You just have an idea about how these things work. Okay, these things work. Then it will be very easy for you to survive there, because there are many people in several IITs. They get self-sponsored, but really feel struggle to study there, because the course difficulties will be high and people will be not used to tackle those. So you can study everything in beforehand. That is one of the possibility. One more pro is that you'll have same placement. So this is one of the pros. So you can attend the same placement of people who are doing Mtech and Mtech RA, TA and RA. So everything is mostly same, and only these two will be the problematic based on your financial thing. Other than that, if you have a good project, if you have a good CGPA, but even with a low gate score, you can still target for the self-sponsor category. So coming to MS RA and MS Research. So these two will have same common background. You can go to the website and check which is available, and eligibility criteria will be clearly mentioned in individual IITs. Okay. So now I will tell about MTech RA and MTech Research in few minutes. So coming to MTech RA, the process is same as self-sponsor, but your fees will be very less than the self-sponsor. Like you will have around 60,000 or something. Still, you will be getting stipend. That is one of the pros. And when coming to the shortlisting process, still same as self-sponsor only. Written exam is same as self-sponsor only. But generally, when you have a good project and a good gate score, I mean not that good also. You can have some medium gate score also, but your project is really good. Then still you can apply for RA. But the RA acceptance rate is very low. So when you have a, as I said, we had around 8 self-sponsored category from last year, and RA was 2. So this is the acceptance rate. It's for smart mobility only. So it depends on IITs and the departments which you take. Not every IITs provide this self-sponsored and these kind of things. It depends on the year which you apply, and it depends on the department. Certain departments will have for 1 year, and other year it doesn't has. So like for smart mobility, and IIT Guwahati has a domain called mobility, e-mobility something, which was there, and it was not there open for last year. So you should find their website. You should check on their website periodically, like once per day or once per week, and then you will get to know about the what are the programs they are offering for the admissions for the upcoming semester or something. Okay. So coming to, so we have covered about MTech RA and self-sponsored. So there is option called direct PhD. So if you really want to if you really want to if you really want to get into IITs, and also if you are passionate about R&D, like research and development in companies, or you can say teaching positions in at IITs and any other things, so you can pursue for a PhD, more specifically direct PhD. So many of the IITs now have the provision of direct PhD. Okay, so this direct PhD, main good thing is that you don't have to study, you don't have to have a master's degree. So generally PhD will have a master's, then you will go for PhD. But direct PhD, directly from the beta you can come into PhD. So this mostly will have two things. One is you will do the MTech first, then you will start your PhD. So this will be there for 2 years. This will be there for 3 years. Okay. So you will do your MTech first with along with your friends, and then you will continue your PhD same time. Okay. So this will take around 5 years. Suppose your gate score is really bad, and still you want to get IIT, financial status is very bad, then you can try for the Mtech TAs in the new third generation IIT for a interdisciplinary background. So for interdisciplinary, you can get, the chance of getting is very high, because as I said earlier, people like rarely take interdisciplinary, and you can still give a try for it. And when you come to self-sponsored, if your financial is bad, you can try taking for loans if the department and like some departments have really good packages. If the department you apply has good placement stats, then you can definitely take a loan from any other banks. You can easily pay them back in a 6 month or 7 month. So it depends on your financial status and your talent. So this is about this video, and since the applications of many IITs has already been released, so kindly go to the particular website and look out for your interested domains and fields. So I wish you very best of luck in the future journey. And if you have any doubts or any other videos which you would like me to post, kindly put in the comment section. I will make a video about it. Thanks for watching. Bye.